Nets Kingdom.
Yes, sir. So we're back, man. I'm here with Rage. It's been a minute, but we're just gonna break down a little Paris preview. Bonjour to the Paris. The Nets are in Paris, so we're gonna do a little preview. We're gonna talk about Cam Thomas troubles. We're gonna talk about Ben Simmons, and then we're also gonna talk about the trade deadline is near. So make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, hit that noti so you get the notifications, and write in the comment section. So the Brooklyn Nets and the Cleveland Cavaliers are playing in Paris. This is the third time the league has played in the French capital. This is a matchup that, most are going to say, we know the Cavs are favored, obviously, but, do the Nets have a chance to steal one in Paris? Going into this matchup, Day'Ron is hurt, and Day'Ron is a very, very key because we know that the Cavs have their big man. Is Evan Mobley? Evan Mobley's hurt too, right? I'm pretty sure Evan
Yeah,
Mobley's
he's hurt. He's out for 6 to 8 weeks, so
hurt. Okay, so it's
and
gonna be
that
a
that
little.
was like 4 weeks ago, so he's still coming back.
And the confident matchup I'm kind of interested in is Clax versus Jared Allen. Now, usually Clax dominates this matchup. Like when Clax plays Jared Allen, he dominates his matchup, and I know Clax has his ups and downs during the season, but I'm pretty confident he could take advantage of Jared Allen. Because to me, Jared Allen's kind of soft, but that's just me. Love him dearly from the Nets, but he's kind of soft.
But he's not
We'll
on the
see.
Nets anymore.
Yeah. So Mikal had a great game against the Blazers, 42 points. Um, what do you think is the key for the Nets to beat the Cavs in Paris, bro? Like, I mean, I know people are gonna say, like, okay, Mikal has to play well, our defense has to be better, but what do you really think, like, the Nets have to hone in on to beat the Cavaliers?
Well, you can't get, like, destroyed at the 3, first of all, 'cause,
Yeah,
that's just the first thing. You can't let everyone shoot a bunch of open threes. But first of all, you gotta have your scorers. You gotta make sure that if you find the hot hand, Mikal's hitting shots, you're feeding him the ball, but you gotta make sure that you have a consistent thing going on and that you're not going away from what's working.
yeah,
And if something isn't working, don't stick to it.
yeah,
You gotta try everything. Gotta try everything you can because there's gonna be nights that Mikal shows up. There's gonna be nights he doesn't. There's gonna be nights where you have Cam Thomas go off. There's gonna be nights where they don't. So you have both of those guys, and you have these other. You have these other guys. You still got Dinwiddie. You still got all these. You still got everyone else. But you gotta make sure you look to what's working. You
yeah.
just gotta try everything out.
And Darius Garland, now they're saying on the injury report that he has a jaw injury, but I see him practice. I like a lot of those clips. You look on NBA.com, like he's on the court, he's warming, he's playing. So I don't know if they dropped it in there because it's still a little bit before the game tomorrow, but I don't know if he's gonna play exactly. But if he does, that is another issue for us because that is a big part of their team, scoring wise. Now that Lonnie's coming back, I feel like we're gonna have a little bit more of a push offensively. But this team, we looked up the stats before the offense and defense. Like we already know the Nets defense is trash. Like the Nets defense has been terrible. Like you said, we give up so many 3-pointers. Our 3-point line defense, the rotations. Even though last game we did a better job of mixing up the switch in the drop, but this whole season, Jacques Vaughn has done a terrible, terrible job of just constantly pushing the drop coverage. And the drop coverage hasn't been working games, and he still sticks to it. You know what I'm saying? It's been a very big issue. I know that's taken away from Clax's effectiveness on defense, but the drop coverage has not been working. It has not been working. I mean, we know last year, right, when we were playing, oh, the Nets switch too much. The Nets switch too much. You need a perfect balance of switch and drop. The teams that are gonna hit a lot of threes, the teams that wanna shoot a lot of threes, the teams that can, have a lot of versatile players, you wanna switch. The teams that you know you can drop on, you can drop. You just gotta mix in the coverage. Shout out to,
And like
Kev. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just gonna put this out there.
Mhm.
If there's a guy on the other team that's made 7 threes in a row, you probably should get out of drop coverage.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly, and we've had that issue all year, and a lot of people have been saying, "Oh, we're negative." The comments will say we're negative. We've been talking bad about we're telling you guys what we see. The Nets have been really, really, really bad this year. And we're just being honest with you guys. You know what I mean? We're not gonna come here and be like, oh my God, everything is great, everything is dandy. You guys see the product. You guys seen the 8 game, the 6 game, whatever, how many game losing streak we've been on. You know, I've seen videos on YouTube of the Nets tanking. You know what I'm saying?
That's steak.
Yeah, like I've seen videos where we tanking, like it's how bad we are. People think, it's just an up and down season and it's a lot. It's a lot, man. But this Cavs game, I just want us to control the boards, play good defense on the 3-point line. If Darius Garland does play, we gotta put a hand up. Would would you prefer drop coverage or switch against the Cavs? Because I think the Cavs are more of a big in the paint, points in the paint team. Although Donovan can shoot and Darius Garland can shoot, I think they're more of a points in the paint team. I'm looking at didn't they lose one of their shooters? What's that shooter's name? On the Cavs, bro. Um, he got traded to the Cavs earlier this year. Was he on Miami?
No, it's Strus?
Yeah, he's on the Cavs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry. Yeah, Max Strus. Yeah, I thought he got hurt, but I don't know if he's playing. But he's one of their 3-point shooters. But I think if we just control the 3-point line, control the boards, keep Jared Allen off the boards, kind of control Donovan. I mean, he's gonna go off, but keep him at a par. I think it's so hard with the Nets because it's like you want us you we see what we just did against the OKC Thunder. You saw what we did. Like OKC Thunder is one of the best teams in the NBA right now. You saw what
And
we did.
it was like a completely different team than what we've, like, seen over the
Yeah,
season. 'Cause we just can't we I mean, what do we had, like, we were putting up, good high 30-point quarters,
yeah.
and we were just keep it up, but, I mean, then you lose to the Trailblazers.
Yeah, so it's like I really don't know what to expect from this team because going into this game, I'm expecting a loss, but for y'all sakes, I'm trying to figure out a way we could beat the Cavs in my mind for the content sakes, you know? But let us know in the comments. Let us know in the comments of how do you think the Nets could steal one in Paris against the Cleveland Cavaliers? But the next topic, man, I want to get to Cam Thomas, bro. Now with the Nets in offense, what are we, 22nd?
Yep. We're 22nd in defense too.
So the Nets are 22nd in the offense and 22nd in defense. So this issue with Cam, right? I mean, Cam has been on a electric streak in the beginning of the year. He got hurt, came back, and he was just right on point. We were surprised how fast Cam got right on point after he got hurt. Now it's been the issue of it. Well, Cam starting and Cam, and will start CT. We've seen him start for a couple games, and then there's been an issue where Vaughn has benched Cam. Now Cam is kind of coming off the bench. Some people are saying, "Oh, it's better because DFS is a 4 and things work better." But we've seen in these recent stretch of games where the offense still looks really, really, really bad. And the Nets don't really have like a certain. We have no. Our point guard issue is uh, very, very imminent. I mean, DSJ has been great. Some people want Dennis Smith Jr. to start. That's the point we're at right now. Dennis Smith Jr. is going crazy off the bench, and they're thinking he should start at point guard. That's where we're at right now because we have no point guard. Ben Simmons is, we're gonna talk about him later. But what do you think about Cam Thomas, bro? I mean, he has been kind of iffy lately. Now, to be fair, let me speak on Cam. His passing, like his game did develop this year. Like we knew he's a bucket. We know Cam's a bucket, right? We know Cam can score with the best of anybody, score 40, 30, whatever. But it's the in between where Cam has been gotten a little better, like his reads off the pick and roll. his facilitating. We saw little flashes this season where he's been able to pass, you know. I don't think the Nets are giving him that opportunity to develop that. They're just kind of like, Cam, give the ball to Cam and score, you know, and he has to do that. But there's an issue with Vaughn and the team where it's like, all right, Cam, we're gonna bench you. I mean, you're gonna go off, but we want you to come off the bench and score, you know, instead of starting and scoring like you have been doing, you know. And then there's certain stretches where they're giving him 8, 9, 10 minutes, you know, not giving him really good minutes. But what do you think is the crazy situation with Cam, bro?
I just find it funny how, like, he was, he was our leading scorer, and he's just so young, and he's doing all of this at such a young age that
Yeah,
I just find it crazy that you go away from that when a lot of these losses every time you see they're like, "Oh, Cam Thomas dropped 45, but the Nets lost. He dropped 40, but the Nets lost. This and
yeah,
that, this and that, this and that." But it's like, what else is he really supposed to do? And I mean, he's gonna have bad games. This dude is human, and he's in his 3rd year of playing.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, I don't know how much you expect this dude to do, and, like, obviously, every single player goes through their cold stretches. I
yeah,
don't understand, like, giving him, 18 minutes and completely dropping that, like, I don't see how he's just getting a completely, like, decline. Like, I understand he had bad games, and yes, they were bad, but it's like,
yeah,
if you looked at him and then you compare it to, like, what other veterans, the thing is that Cam Thomas, he'll go to the bench and his minutes will decrease and all that, but you look at our starters, our veterans, guess what? They're still getting the same minutes.
yeah.
They're still getting the same minutes. Cam Thomas gets the treatment of, "Oh,
It's
yeah,
like he has a bigger
you're
leash,
not
right?
playing well."
He has a leash
Bro,
on him. Like, why are they putting the leash on Cam? But then we've seen Spencer have terrible stretches. We've seen other players have terrible. CJ has been really terrible stretches. But you know, I know we gave CJ the big money, but you still got to play the coach the game. If you see guys are not giving it what you're giving it all or not making an impact, you got to switch things up.
you
And
can't play favorites in the NBA. You can't
yeah,
do it. Like, it's
especially on this
just
team.
we're not in a spot where we can just pick and choose we can't just pick and choose, "Oh, we just signed you to a lot of money, so we're
Yeah,
gonna play you once." You're 30 years old, so even if you shoot 0 for 35 and you have 17 turnovers, well, you'll still be in the game.
yeah.
Like,
Um,
it's just Cam doesn't get this, type, if Cam was given an opportunity to fail, really, like,
yeah,
if he's given an opportunity to, and he's not doing, shit, but you're able to continue to play him and you're build his confidence up, like, I don't understand, like, with everything, you're gonna fail. There's gonna
yeah.
be bad games. There's gonna be bad days. Everyone has bad days, and every NBA player has bad games. I just don't understand why you get
Let me
you don't give this guy a bigger, like, you
Let
don't
me
give
let
this
me
guy.
uh let me read these stats. Shout out to Cypher. He said Cam Thomas is averaging 22 minutes per game since coming off the bench. The Nets are 1-5 since making that choice of putting Cam. So it's affecting the team. You know what I'm saying? It's affecting the team 1-5 since making that choice of benching Cam Thomas. So the next topic I want to get to is, of course, the Ben Simmons. And I know Nets fans don't want to talk about this, but we have to because he got interviewed in Paris. We dropped a video this morning. Shout out to some of the Paris reporters that showed us Ben shooting light workouts. Now, ever since Ben went down, I'm not gonna lie, Ben, we were expecting Ben to be better this year. I mean, we were all hoping Ben was going to be, you know, what did he say during the season? Oh, this is going to be my breakout year. No one's going to be talking to da. And he came out flat. You know, we didn't see what he did in preseason. Um, he was helping the team slightly by, assists.
There were things he did better,
Yeah,
but his mentality was the same. It was just this
yeah,
time he's healthy. He was
yeah,
last year he was on a bad mentality and a bad back. This year
yeah,
coming into the season, he was on a bad mentality and a good back. When you're
yeah,
healthy, things change, especially in sports. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like I'm showing these preseason highlights and I'm like, Ben was not playing like this during when the season started. It's like he just regressed and then he wasn't being aggressive. He wasn't looking at the rim like you see these shots. He was taking jump shots. He was doing the passing thing. Ben's always gonna get you 8 assists
He
and he's gonna
was
give you
having fun and just playing like
yeah,
what Ben
yeah,
Simmons used to play like. It was just it's just and it's so interesting to see, like, what's gonna happen when he comes back because, uh, I'm sure I'm not the first one to say this, but if he comes back looking flat, I wouldn't be too surprised. Like,
yeah,
I think everyone's expectations need to be at the bare minimum at this point because, I mean, we're Nets fans. We've hit rock bottom. We've seen it. I
yeah,
don't know how you could possibly go into like obviously you can have an optimistic mindset. You can be like, I think he can do well, but if you think he's gonna completely thrive and succeed and be and look like, prime Ben, I don't think anyone thinks that, but you can't do that anymore. You just gotta expect them you gotta expect the minimum so you can't possibly be disappointed.
yeah,
That's just the mentality we need to have, like, going into the season, which is why I feel like, if this is the season to play Cam Thomas, and this is the season to, give him,
more run or
this
heavy
is
minutes,
it's
heavy minutes.
give him more run because we're not fighting for anything this year. If we're fighting for a play-in spot, you can play Cam Thomas 30 minutes.
Yeah. I know the reports are saying Ben said he's feeling good. He'll be back soon. They're still
We've heard
saying
that story before.
the agent is saying 2 weeks away. From looking at this practice film, I'm thinking he's at least 3 to 4 weeks away. I mean, I won't be shocked if he's out for another month, to be honest. But the good thing is he is practicing. He is doing 2-on-2 light workouts. I mean, my guess is 3 weeks, and we'll see some type of maybe like a small minutes coming off the bench. That's my best guess. But like I said, I'm not shooting for anything, and I'm not expecting Ben to be back at all,
That would be
anytime
so
soon.
hila that would be so hilarious if the first game he comes back, he's playing like 30 minutes.
Yeah, I think I saw somebody on Twitter said it's like the 23rd versus the Knicks, and I'm not even banking on that. He's coming back at it. I'm not even banking on anything. But yeah, we'll see what happens with Ben. I mean, let us know in the comments how you feel about Ben Simmons. But my last topic, man, is the trade deadline. Now, February 10th is the trade deadline. We should be sellers. I mean, how many times have you seen that? Have seen this takes from us on this channel? We should be sellers. I mean, Royce, DFS, these guys have big value. There's teams that are calling us for Royce and DFS. Team and Spence. Let me put those
These
three
are
guys out there.
And then you look
You know,
at all these 3 veterans, but obviously 2 have some in common in that they can shoot the 3 and play some defense.
you know,
And that's a very important thing in today's league, and that's something that will get you at least a first round. Like Royce O'Neal should be worth a first round pick, like just based
yeah,
off of his
yeah.
or
So is
well, late for
DFS also.
yeah, and yeah, but you can get multiple DFS. You can get multiple first for DFS.
Yeah. These guys have value, and at the trade deadline, it's just the front office put us in this position where we have no direction. The coach, we have no pick. We don't have our own pick. Houston have a bunch of our picks, so it's like I've seen a lot of trade talk online and where the net should go, what direction should we go. Will you be shocked? Well, let me ask you, Rage. Will you be shocked if the Nets just keep the same team, or do you expect Sean Marks to get rid of DFS, Royce, Spence, flip these guys for kind of players and picks? Do you expect Claxton? Do you expect some people are talking about trade Clax? I've seen a whole bunch of people say trade Clax. Uh, what do you expect is going to happen at the deadline?
Kinda like laugh because
Mhm,
every year, even with our very good players, even with when we had, Big 3 and all them, we still wouldn't make the moves necessary to get us to a good point,
mhm,
and we either all I'm gonna say is we either trade for Donovan Mitchell or we do nothing.
yeah, yeah,
I don't see us, like, making, like, these little because like, obviously, in the offseason, it looked a little bit better because we were, like, doing, like, the little stuff, but in terms of the trades, I haven't really seen, like, any, like, really, really good trades from us, especially, like, with Marks, being, the head guy now. Obviously, we haven't seen that really with the trades. I don't know why this year would be any different, even though our team looks, completely different than it did a year ago.
I've
We're
seen the
still
Nets did put out their bid not trading Mikal. It could be a little bit of, leveraging, but they put out there that they're not trading Mikal, they're building around him. To me, that's a weird sign because I'm not we love Brooklyn Bridges, but he's not a number one option. We need a star. Brooklyn Bridges, I think, had his most efficient year when he was on the Suns as a 2 or a 3rd option. That's when
and
he
there's
had the
nothing wrong with being a second option. Like there's nothing
yeah,
wrong with it. It's just like you're never gonna win a championship with Mikal Bridges as your number
yeah.
one. You just
So
aren't in
you
any team.
you're either gonna go the star direction, trade your pieces for Donovan, um, or you're gonna like because that's the only star I can really think of right now that he would come here. I don't think
And that would
anybody
even
else.
really
Yeah,
make sense for us right
yeah.
now because
I
it's
think
just
we're out on Pascal. I know Pascal's up for it, but I'm like, we're not gonna get Pascal. Pascal's probably gonna go to the King Warriors. Those guys are fighting over Pascal right now. I
yeah,
would take Siakam. I would love Siakam, but I'm like, we're not gonna get him. You're not gonna get Siakam.
yeah,
Yeah,
and you just gotta. All I know is that you just have to but like I said before, just expect the bare minimum. Where
yeah,
we've continuously seen like even when we think we're at the top, we're at the bottom. We'll go into the trade deadline with all with stars, and we still won't trade. And make our team better. But I just it'll be interesting though because this is the one trade deadline where everything's this is the one trade deadline in a while where everything's completely different. We don't have a bunch of stars on our team. We have
yeah,
guys that we can get value for. These are we like you said we have DFS, we have Royce, we have Spencer Dinwiddie. We have
mhm,
guys that can actually get value back.
yeah.
But it would be I wouldn't bank on us doing what most people
The
want
star
and just
trades, yeah. I'm not begging on the star trades. Like I said, there's the direction you go the star route, which I don't think the Nets are gonna do, and then there's the marginal direction where you get your picks or you get solid young guys, a point guard, get a solid young point guard for DFS, Royce, or Spence. These guys don't fit our timeline. We're gonna this year. I think we might not even make the play in. We might not even make the play in. That's how. Like, did you see our schedule coming up? Our schedule is gonna be very, very hard coming up, and it's gonna be
you
a
know what?
tough schedule. Yeah.
I'm gonna pull it up right now, and we're gonna talk these next few games because this is
Yeah.
we're
Oh no,
already 10th. We're
I
already
think I
10th.
saw it on Jack Manuel's page. I think he posted it. Shout out to Jack from Brooklyn Buzz. I think he posted the schedule and like the games coming up. It's like, can we even make the play in before the All Star? I
We play
mean,
we play so
mhm,
let's go until
the All Star break.
let's do that. So
Yeah.
we got the Cavs, the Heat, the
Mm,
Trailblazers, the Lakers, the Clippers, Knicks, Timberwolves,
mm,
Rockets, Jazz,
mm, 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 mm.
Suns, 76ers, Warriors, Mavericks, Cavs again, Spurs. Finally, we got an easy game,
Yeah.
or so we think. Celtics, Raptors, Timberwolves.
See? Yeah. See? So will you be surprised if the Nets are 10 games under 500 or more? You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be a brutal, brutal. So it's like at this point, that's why I'm telling you, we should be sellers. Get our value for DFS Royce Spence. Get our value. Get our picks. Get a 2024 pick. Get a 20. Get 2025, 2026, whatever you want. Get future round, first rounds. Get a young point guard back that we can actually play and develop. Um, I would like Jaden Ivey. I don't know if Jaden Ivey's gonna be on the board, but Jaden Ivey's out there. A couple of point guards that we can get a young point guard. Get a point guard, and then keep our team on the timeline of keep our core of Mikhail Clax, Cam Thomas. I guess we're gonna have to keep CJ because of the money. Um, but those guys, and then building around those guys, young guys. You know what I'm saying? Now I would keep Lonnie, keep Harry, keep these young guys, Trendon Watford, these guys are 24, 23. Keep the team young and just develop. That's where we're at this point because we don't,
We've already been in the star route, and
yeah,
we've never seen something like that fall down before. I just don't understand why you try to stick to that when you're just it just really hasn't worked out. You might as well just go and try and go a different direction because we haven't been able to see a route where we go really, where we go really young and where we just try
Yeah,
and to develop guys because the time before that we weren't really that we didn't have many guys to develop, but before we got to the Spencer Dinwiddie, the Jared Allen, and the Karis LeVert days, before we didn't have any picks, so we
yeah,
couldn't watch young guys develop. We watched very average players go out and play the game, and we'd be the worst team and still not have our pick.
yeah,
And then we had like 2 years where we were average, we were
yeah,
fun, quote unquote fun,
yeah,
and then we got our stars,
yeah,
and we look good, when they're playing, and we suck. And then when everything goes down, it stinks, and it's a catastrophic downfall, and you're at rock bottom. It seems because you trade Kyrie Irving, you trade Kevin Durant, and obviously you had the Harden trade before that,
yeah.
and then
We can't
everything looks
we can't
worse.
keep doing this over and over again. Like, we gotta have a clear direction, you know. And I know people are in the comments. I'll say this: people in the comments are gonna say, "Well, we can't trade these guys. We can't tank because we don't have our pick." I'm at this point where it's like, if we can get value for these trades picks, what's the point? The 2024 pick is gone. Houston's gonna use it. All right, Houston's gonna use it. We should be acting like that pick is gone. Forget it if they get a good guy in the draft. That's not our problem. You know what I'm saying? If we can get value back and picks back that's gonna help us for the future, forget that pick about that Houston's gonna get. You know what I'm saying? It's over. I mean, they got it. You can't get
And
it back
even
unless we trade
even
with them.
if
We're not gonna get it
and
back.
even if we, like, go young and we trade for
Yeah,
first round picks, obviously, we don't have our picks, so
yeah,
we're not gonna try to lose, but we can still try and fight competitively, and as you continue to do that, you
yeah,
gain more respect, things get better, your guys
yeah.
develop, and you look like a competent team. The
Yeah,
Thun
at least
the
we'll have
the
a
Thunder
direction.
are
We'll
a
have a
perfect
direction at
definition
least.
of that.
Yeah,
Yes, they've had the luxury of drafting players high, like Giddey and Chet, but they ultimately went a route where they had a clear direction. The Rockets had a direction that was clear. Obviously, like I said, our situation is kind of different because we don't own our own picks, but you can trade for picks. And you can trade to these other teams that have some, that will get you something, and you can use these picks to, trade for a higher pick.
yeah,
You have
exactly.
multiple
I
first
mean,
that
there's
you
teams like OKC that will definitely take some of our, they got picks galore. There's a lot of teams out there that got so many first rounds that we can use and young
And
guys that
we're
we can go
we're
get.
in
You
a
know?
situation where, like, it's the battle of the super teams, but there's also, teams like the Timberwolves and the
Yeah,
Thunder that are fighting. So
yeah,
this isn't a clear, like, oh yeah, this team is for sure gonna win. This team for sure has it. This team's got it. This is so every one of these teams are going to be trying to get an edge. Every one of these teams are going to try and be better than the team that is above them, or
yeah,
right, that's close to them,
yeah,
because it's a closer race. So just get your value back on these players. I don't really get going the star route
yeah.
when it just hasn't worked out, and even if you get a Donovan Mitchell, you're still not a you know
Yeah,
you're not
we still
championship
need more
contending.
pieces. We still got to make double moves.
And it's
Um,
and it's not gonna be this year that you get Donovan Mitchell and you're like, "Oh, yeah, we're able to go in for a championship," clearly,
yeah.
obviously, but even in the next few years, I still don't think, like,
Yeah. Like I said, at this
I
point,
still don't think it's
if
gonna be
we do
impossible.
get the value that we get for Spencer, Royce, and DFS, at least we'll have a direction, you know? At least we'll have a clear front office makes a clear direction. Like, okay, we're rebuilding, we're going young, we're gonna develop these guys. At least we'll have a direction. Because now we're in like, are we competitive? We have a mixture of old on the team, mixture of young on the team. We don't know what we're doing, you know? And I know people don't want to talk about we don't have a pick, but it's bigger things than just we got to think about the future. We can't just think about, oh, Houston's going to get our 2024 pick. You know what I'm saying? Is that 2024 pick might not even mean a good guy that Houston grabs. It might not even be a legit guy. You know, so
It's the draft. You're taking a
it's a
chance on
draft. We're taking a
everybody. There's no
chance.
sh there's no sure there's not a player that you can be sure about, because
Yeah.
there's factors with everything, there's
So
the
yeah,
there's the
exactly.
injury factor, and then there's the overall play factor, there's the mental factor, there's so many factors that go in. It's, a lot of most of the players that get drafted don't end up performing.
Yeah. So it's like, uh, It's like, are we gonna like make a clear direction, or are we gonna just, oh my god, be scared because Houston might get our pick? It's like that's not how you run a franchise. You gotta think about the future. You gotta build for the future. You gotta build for the future. That's what we're gonna do right
And it's
now
like
because we have no stars.
I understand like we just mentioned the draft, but the thing is it's
Yeah.
like we haven't went this direction we haven't really went this direction where we have like because the thing is even if you like trade like Dinwiddie, DFS,
Mhm.
Royce for picks, you still have a solid foundation that you're looking at.
Yeah.
And then you're still going in with picks and you still have Clowney, you still have
Yeah.
Whitehead, you still have Wilson.
Wilson.
You
Yeah.
know, there's still other players to look at, and then if you're trading these guys for picks because DFS can get you 2 firsts, I think at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
I think Royce can get you 1, and I think Dinwiddie can get you 1.
Yeah.
Dinwiddie might so if you look at all of this, I just think that we should go in a direction that we haven't really went in before, not recently. And if it doesn't work, if you're 5 years doing the same stuff and you're not and nothing's happening, go a different direction. You
Yeah.
don't you don't see what happened with Kyrie, KD, and James Harden, and Ben Simmons now and say, "You know what? Let's trade for another star."
Yeah. It's
Try to go a different
yeah.
route that you haven't
Yeah.
went before and just see how it goes because we're not in a spot even if we trade for a star to fight for a championship when there's the
No.
Bucks, the Celtics, the Nuggets still,
You're
existing,
down
the
in the race. You
76ers.
are
You're
very,
not even
very
close.
down. Yeah, we're not
You're
even
not even
close.
close. It's just
Uh,
comparing yourself to other teams, just being realistic here. Nothing wrong with being where we're at right now because we're still coming off the whole Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving thing.
yeah.
But you know, you're just not in a position to fight for a championship
Last
right
thing I'll
now.
say is, well, I want to get to this last, the Clax situation. Now, I'm on the team keep Clax. I know people are saying trade Clax, but I want to keep Clax. I think he's a valuable piece to this team. He's still young, 23, 24 years old. You can still guard 1 through 5. I know he's had a situation this year, but look at you can't just come at Clax though. You got to come at their whole team. Our whole team hasn't been good. Mikhail's have had his issues. Our coaching is terrible. We
Every
haven't used
single person has not been perfect,
we
and
haven't used Clax at his abilities. We're putting Clax in a drop. He's not a drop coverage center. I mean, he can play it, but that's not where he's most effective. We're not
this dude was
you the offense
switching
is
a
just
lot.
the offense is give the ball to Cam Thomas and Cook. We have no our offense is so doesn't really have direction. So it's like, do you expect Clax to excel in this chaos that's going on? But people
And
are
it's like
saying trade Clax, trade Clax, trade Clax. I'm like, let's hold our breaks here. If you're thinking about it, I know Daron has had a great year so far, but if you're thinking about it, and Clowney is doing his thing in the G League, but that's the G League. That's not the NBA. Clowney is still 18. He still needs a lot more development. People are trying to rush
18 is
his development. Yeah, he's
ridiculous.
18. So I know people think, oh, we have big man to replace. It's like it doesn't really work like that. Clax
19.
is kind of a different breed. He's and then it's gonna make me so mad if we trade Clax to a team and he turns into the next coming of Chris Bosh because I'm starting to see his 3-point shot, his shooting get more confident in shooting, starting to hit shots. Like it's gonna make me so upset if we trade Clax and if we do, I really, really, really hope they get some crazy value back for Clax because that is a crucial piece
I just
to this
don't
core
know
team.
how
Mhm.
you're Sean Marks in this situation, and you look at the overall team, you've watched the season, and you're like, "You know what? Clax is the one who should leave."
Yeah, yeah. Imagine he keeps Spencer, Royce, and everybody else, and then he trades Clax.
It doesn't even make sense because and the thing is like some of these guys are on
Yeah,
expiring contracts. Yeah, you're gonna have to
yeah,
pay Clax. You're gonna have to worry about paying
yeah.
Clax. But
He's
I
not even that
just
expensive either. You could pay Clax 20 million dollars a year, and that's it. Keep it pushing. I think Clax just wants his value, and I
and
think
if
Clax's
you
value
I
is 20,
and
21 million.
if you trade your
Yeah,
other guys that are expiring and don't really have, like what's the point of all these 3 and D wings if we're not fighting for anything?
yeah, yeah,
If we're a 10 seed and we're like we all know what we are, and that's, a bottom feeder team essentially, uh, a play-in team. right now that we're looking at.
Mhm.
But if you're at this point, I just don't understand why you don't get rid of the guys that have value and look more towards the future after just trading Kevin Durant
Yeah.
and Kyrie. You're coming off a season where you just traded your stars. Why are you gonna try and trade for more and still be a worse version of what you just were?
Yeah. I think part of the reason that I think Callax hasn't played it to his up par this year, again, it's just the surroundings. Well, he started off the year bad with that injury, and then it's just the makeup of the team, the way our offense has no. He needs a downhill guard to get him buckets too. I mean, we don't have no offensive uh direction. Like I said, our offense is give it to McHale and CT and watch them cook. No, we don't have no. We don't really run a lot of plays. We don't do a lot of things on offense. It's just not good. So it's like with Clax, I think like part of that is the direction of the team where it's going. He doesn't know what direction we're going on offense. The defense, the drop coverage is throwing him off because he's used to switching. He's been switching his whole career, literally. The Nets have been switching ever since he probably got drafted. I think they've been switching, and now he's playing drop, so that's kind of thrown him off. And then we're thinking about um, just the overall vibe. Like we need a new energetic just direction. We need a new GM and a new coach. If we had a new GM and a new coach, I feel like that would just energize the whole team. Like, we just need something new just to give us that.
I still
So
just find it funny that we're, in that situation where we extended
yeah,
Jacque Vaughn and
yeah,
the season, like, we just got to we had Jacque Vaughn in the first season, he gets extended. Like, that's ridiculous, man.
yeah,
I don't hate the guy at all, but I
yeah,
just don't in any situation, like, I
yeah.
just don't understand how he has that short of, that
Oh,
short of a time
there's a
period
fire.
coaching.
Have you gone on Twitter? It's the fire Coach Vaughn train. You guys are thinking we're negative. Go on that's Twitter right now. You'll see fire Coach Vaughn. There's a fire Coach Vaughn campaign. Fire Coach Vaughn, fire Sean Marks, down with like their Nets Twitter is on fire with fire the organization, front office, down to the coaching, down to Sean. Like we've been on this fire Sean and fire get a new coach. We've been on this train for God 2 years now. But now Nets Twitter is catching on to why we've been so negative. You know what I'm
And
saying?
and and even the thing is, it's like even with the coaching, but the thing is, it's like, um as long as you have Sean Marks in this position and he continues to show you what he is, you're not it doesn't matter what coach you
Yeah,
get, whoever he hires is probably gonna be somebody, he likes, obviously, because he's hiring him,
yeah.
which is why he didn't hire Udoka, a
Mm,
partial reason.
yeah,
But, as long as he's, in the front office and he's still doing these, and he's still being Sean Marks, it doesn't matter who you get, you're still probably not gonna look great coaching-wise.
yeah. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe. Thanks for listening to us vent about the Nets for 37 minutes. Put in the comments again what you guys think. How you guys think how the Nets are gonna do in this Cleveland game? Let us know in the comments. Do you think the Nets could steal one in Paris? Do you think Claxton will get traded? Do you want Clax to get traded? Are you on a team keep Clax or you're a team trade Clax?
You
Are you on
want
a
Ben
team
Simmons gone. Are you done with Cam Thomas?
are you done with Cam Thomas? Do you want Ben Simmons gone? Let us know your thoughts on that. Do you what direction should the Nets go on the trade deadline? You give us your thoughts. If you were the GM of this team, what would you do at the trade deadline? Put that in the comments. You know what I'm saying? And
give
make
up
sure you guys
everything for Donovan Mitchell, we're open
yeah.
to everything right now.
Yeah, so make sure you guys hit that like button and then let us know in the comments. If you like these pods, again, please, please, please hit that like button and comment if you want more of these pods, more of these vent sessions about the Nets. Appreciate you guys again. We'll be back.